Hi, it's Russell James and you're watching The Raw Chef TV. Now I'm in the middle of all these dehydrators because this episode is all about what is a dehydrator, do you really need one? Kind of which is my favourite. I'm going to be honest now, I haven't really got a favourite. I use all of these, I don't want this to be a review as such, but I'm going to give you some pros and cons of each. I use all of these at some point during the week and the month, so if you buy any of these models, you're going to be in a good place. I want this really to be about just showing you what a dehydrator is and why we use it. So first of all, raw food. What is raw food and why is a dehydrator relevant? Because a lot of people think that raw food is cold food, and it kind of opens up a whole new world to people when I show them a dehydrator or when they find out about dehydrators. Because you definitely can do raw food without one, but it opens up a lot more options. So if you get to a little bit of an enthusiast stage and you think you're going to use one, this is what it's for. It's kind of like your raw food oven, right? So it's got a very specific temperature dial that goes up to, well, often, you know, these models aren't necessarily just for raw food. So they go up above 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the kind of the temperature that you want to set them at. But you can be very specific about that temperature. So that's how we can use them. We can make crackers and pizza bases and breads and all kinds of good stuff. And we can actually use it to heat up soups as well. If you put a soup in a bowl, cover it up, put it in the dehydrator for a couple of hours, you can have a warm soup that's still raw. So, you know, your dehydrators come with some controls on the front and trays inside really, and that's the kind of the formula that all of these follow, and they've got slight variations. So this is, as far as I'm aware, the Sedona is the first dehydrator I think that was made specifically for people that are into raw food. So it's got a lot of the features that I think a lot of people were asking for. So it's got two fans that can work independently, top and bottom. So if you're just using the top trays, you can just use the top ones. It's got a nighttime switch which makes it a little bit quieter. And it's got a digital display and a timer. And the timer I found to be really useful. You can get timers on any of these models, and you can also get, I think you can still get the Excalibur and the TSM without timers as well. So I definitely go for a timer if you can. The other question I get asked is about a size. So you can get, you know, these bigger models and then about half size, 5 tray or 9 tray. So I would always suggest, if you've got the space, go for the larger one. But inside, you've essentially got your tray, and then you've got a mesh for drying things and allows the air to circulate. And then if I show you on this Excalibur, you've also, as well as your tray and your mesh, you've got a non-stick sheet. So just a non-stick baking sheet. So if you're dehydrating something that's got a little bit more of a liquid content and it would seep through those holes, then you can use your non-stick sheet. So yeah, the Sedona's really nice, really, really quiet. I really like it for that. It does maybe feel a little bit plasticky to me, but I know that they're updating their dehydrators very often. And the recent one I've seen of this has got a metal handle on it. But also, yeah, the trays are not perfectly square, which if you're making an even kind of bread batch, can be a little bit of a pain. It's a small thing. And the lips on these are not really great for working with, as maybe like the Excalibur trays are. These, I think, in terms of which trays I like working with, because the Excalibur trays are nice and square, they haven't really got much of a lip on them. They're just really nice and easy to work with. You can kind of throw them about and clean them a lot, and you know, throw them about in the dishes, and they last. So as do the non-stick sheets. The dehydrator, but I guess because, you know, I'm maybe not quite so much now, but certainly in the early days of this dehydrator, I was going all over the place, taking my dehydrator to classes and catering and events and all kinds of stuff. And they can fall apart a little bit. They're if you're just keeping yours in the kitchen, you won't have a problem. But I've got a screw that I put in myself over here, where it was kind of coming apart a little bit. And also the cleaning of these ones can be a little bit finicky. You've got these where the trays go in here, that can get quite dirty in there, and also the base. I've cleaned it out especially for this video, obviously, but it can get quite dirty up in the back there, and it's a bit difficult to get into all the little nooks and crannies. But a really good solid dehydrator. The door could maybe do with a little bit of work. It just kind of hangs on there. I know that Excalibur now are doing metal versions of these. I've yet to test one of those out, so I think that would be really nice, just in terms of how it looks in your kitchen, which neatly brings me on, I guess, to the TSM dehydrator. So again, a timer and a temperature gauge on top. You can get these in digital. I would suggest, if you're going to get one of these, get the digital display, because you can't be quite as accurate with the temperature on this one. Like here, you've got the temperature is very clearly marked out by the Excalibur, and on this one it's digital as well, but this one it just says high and low, and you have to really kind of use a thermometer that you put in there to get the temperature of it, which is a little bit of a pain, but you can get around that just by buying the digital unit, which is what I would do. What I really liked, I mean, the obvious benefits of this one is the way it looks. It looks like it should be in a kitchen. It actually looks like a piece of kitchen equipment, and it's really easy to clean. So the door just comes off. You've got these trays. These are pretty nice to work with as well. You know, work on the same principle, the tray, the mesh, and the non-stick sheet. I really like this drip tray that you've got here, which helps things, helps catch all those crumbs and stuff. And then you can just take these pieces of rack out, and then in there it just wipes out really easily. So that's probably the easiest to clean and the nicest to work with in that sense. So, do you need a dehydrator? You don't, not necessarily, no, but it really does add an extra element. Like I say, any of these units I would definitely recommend you be in a good place if you bought any of them. And you can head over to my website, therawchef.com, and we've got plenty of free recipes over there that will help you get the best out of these things. And also, if you want a deeper dive, we've got some home study courses and other online courses that you can get into. So next week, I'm going to be showing you how to make kale chips, and in fact just how to use an oven if you haven't got one of these things, to get you started until you've made the decision whether you want to get one or not. So I'll see you in that episode.